I'm 83 years old. Last week, my daughter called and said, "Mom, we need to talk about your living situation." You can tell a lot from the way someone pauses before a sentence. That small hesitation, that careful tone. I didn't need her to finish. I already knew where the conversation was going. She's been circling it for months now, gently at first, then a little more directly each time. Assisted living, a facility, somewhere safer, safe. That word comes up a lot when you get older. People start measuring your life in terms of risk instead of meaning. My name is Margaret, and I want to tell you something I wish someone had told me earlier. Getting older isn't just about needing help. It's about deciding what kind of life you're still allowed to have. If you're younger, maybe you're thinking about this for your parents. If you're closer to my age, maybe you're quietly thinking about it for yourself. Either way, I've lived through the options people always suggest. Moving in with family, hiring caregivers, going into a facility. And I'm going to be honest with you, those aren't the only options. And sometimes they're not even the right ones. After my husband Richard died, I lived alone for the first time in my life. 46 years of marriage, and then suddenly, just me. At first I told myself I was doing fine. I could cook, I could clean, I could manage my bills and appointments. The house was quiet, yes, but I convinced myself I liked the quiet, that it was peaceful. But quiet and empty are not the same thing. It just takes a while to feel the difference. The changes came slowly. I'd get winded going up the stairs from the basement. My hands would shake when I tried to open jars. I'd walk into a room and forget why I went there in the first place. Small things, easy to dismiss, until the morning I slipped getting out of the shower. I didn't fall. I caught myself on the towel bar, but for a split second, I felt my balance disappear. And in that moment, something else slipped too, my confidence. That night, lying in bed, I had a thought that wouldn't leave me alone. What if next time I don't catch myself? What if I fall and no one finds me? Fear is quiet at first. Then it starts talking louder. So I called my daughter. I told her maybe I should come stay for a while, just until I felt steadier. She said yes immediately, almost too quickly, like she'd been waiting for me to ask. The first week at her house felt warm, family dinners, conversation, noise, my grandchildren laughing in the next room. For the first time in a long while, I felt like I was part of something again, like I mattered. But reality has a way of settling in after the welcome wears off. My daughter and her husband both work. The kids have school, activities, friends. By the second week, the house was empty most of the day. I'd sit in the living room watching TV I didn't really care about, waiting for the sound of the front door opening. And that's when it hit me. I was just as alone as I had been in my own house. The only difference was this wasn't my space. The small frictions started quietly. "Mom, maybe not so much salt, okay? Your blood pressure." "Mom, can you turn the TV down? The kids are studying." "Mom, we're going out Saturday night. You'll be all right here?" They weren't being cruel, not at all. They were kind people living their lives. But I wasn't part of that life. I was an addition to it. And additions, eventually, start to feel like weight. One evening, I overheard something I wasn't meant to hear. My daughter was on the phone. "I know it's the right thing," she said, her voice low, tired. "But honestly, it's exhausting. I can't even go to the store without worrying about her." I stood in the hallway, completely still, not angry, not even hurt exactly, just aware. Living with family doesn't always cure loneliness. Sometimes it makes it sharper, because you're surrounded by people and still invisible. After 3 months, I told her I was going home. She worried. Of course she did. She told me it wasn't safe. But I needed something she couldn't give me. I needed to feel like I still had a place in the world that was mine. Going back home felt like taking a deep breath after holding it too long. Relief, but also reality. The stairs hadn't gotten easier. Cooking still exhausted me. My hands still shook. One afternoon, I tried to change a light bulb. Simple thing, right? I stood on a chair, reached up, and my hands started trembling so badly I had to climb down. I remember just standing there in my kitchen, holding that burnt-out bulb, thinking, this is how it happens. This is how you slowly stop being able to take care of yourself. So I looked into getting help. A woman named Patricia started coming a few times a week. She cleaned, cooked, ran errands. At first it felt strange, having someone in my house touching my things, moving things around. But I adjusted, and it helped for a while. Then the bills came. $3,000 a month for part-time help. My Social Security barely covered a third of that. I had savings, yes, but watching that number go down month after month felt like watching a clock tick toward something I couldn't stop. And there were other things, small things. I liked washing dishes right after eating. Patricia preferred to let them sit. I folded towels one way. She had her own system. They sound like trivial details. But when it's your home, those details matter because they're not just habits. They're identity. Then Patricia left. Family emergency. She couldn't come back. So I had to start over. A new person, new routines, new explanations. By the fourth caregiver, I was exhausted. Every time someone new walked in, I had to teach them my life all over again. Where things go, how I like things done, what I need. And all the while, the money kept draining. So I stopped. I canceled the service. And for the first time, I thought, I'm out of options. That's when my daughter suggested assisted living. She found a place, clean, reputable, medical staff on site. Just try it for a month, she said. Please. I agreed, not because I wanted to go, but because I was tired of not knowing what else to do. The day I moved in felt like checking into a hotel, except there was no return date. The room was small, clean, but it wasn't home. The first few days weren't bad. I met people, played cards, ate meals in a dining room full of strangers trying to be friendly. But by the end of the first week, something inside me started tightening. Everything had a schedule. Wake up at 6:30, breakfast at 7:30, lunch at noon, dinner at 5, 5 o'clock. I've never eaten dinner at 5 in my entire life. I like reading late at night, always have. But at 9, the hallway lights dimmed, and if a light stayed on under my door, someone would knock. Mrs. Turner, it's time to sleep now. Time to sleep. Imagine that, being told when to sleep after 83 years of deciding for yourself. One evening, I wanted to step outside. It was a beautiful night, cool air, clear sky. I walked toward the door. A staff member stopped me. Outdoor time ended at 7. Safety policy. Safety policy. Those words followed me everywhere. And slowly they started to feel less like protection and more like a cage. 'Cause here's the truth no one says out loud. I wasn't that sick. I could walk, think, function. But I was living like I couldn't. After 3 weeks, I called my daughter. "I'm leaving," I said. "Mom, you said you'd give it a month." "This isn't living," I told her. "I'd rather struggle at home than be comfortable in a cage." The day I left, the air felt different, lighter. Freedom doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's just being able to step outside when you feel like it. But back home, the problems were still there. I still got tired, still dropped things, still felt that quiet fear creeping in at night. I had tried everything, family, caregivers, facilities. None of it worked. For a few days I did nothing. Just sat by the window, watched the neighborhood, thought. And then something unexpected happened. I was walking to the small grocery store down the street, 3 blocks. That's my limit these days. I passed my neighbor, Sarah, young woman, maybe 40. Always looked like she was carrying more than she could handle. She was on her phone, pacing. "I can't leave work early again," she said. "My boss already warned me." She hung up, and for a moment, she just stood there, like everything was too much. Before I could think it through, I walked over. "Sarah," I said, "if you ever need someone to pick up your daughter from school." "I walk past there anyway." She looked, surprised. "I couldn't ask you to do that." "You're not asking," I said. "I'm offering." She hesitated, then nodded. "Her name is Emma. I'll be there at 3, I said. That small moment changed everything. The next day I picked up Emma. She talked the entire walk home about her teacher, her friends, some project she was excited about. At her age, everything feels important, and listening to her made everything feel important again. When Sarah got home that evening, she knocked on my door with a plate of food. "I made extra," she said. "Please take it." That became our rhythm. I picked up Emma. Sarah brought food sometimes, but more than that, something else started forming. Her husband fixed things around my house, a leaky faucet, that light bulb I couldn't reach. Sarah helped me set up online bill payments, grocery deliveries. Emma taped her drawings to my refrigerator and started calling me Miss Margaret. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like a problem that needed solving. I felt like a person again. One evening, Sarah said something I'll never forget. "You've changed our lives," she told me. "I was drowning before." I smiled. "You've changed mine too." And that's when it finally clicked. I didn't need someone to take care of me. I needed a still matter. That's the part no one talks about. Aging isn't just about what you lose. It's about whether the world still sees what you can give. Because I still have things to offer. I have time. I have experience. I can walk a child home from school. I can listen when someone needs it. And that has value, more than people realize. Now, I'm not saying this is the answer for everyone. Your situation might be different. You might need more care than I do. Or maybe living with family works beautifully for you. But here's what I've learned. You don't have to choose between total independence and total dependence. There's a space in between. A space where you can accept help without giving up control. A space where you can contribute without exhausting yourself. Community matters more than money. I spent thousands on caregivers and still felt alone. Now, I spend almost nothing and feel more connected than I have in years because money buys services, but it doesn't buy relationships. Sarah doesn't help me because I pay her. She helps because I help her, and that makes all the difference. I'm 83 years old. I live alone, but I'm not lonely. I'm not waiting for the day I can't manage anymore. I'm living now, on my terms. Maybe someday I'll need more help. Maybe I will end up in a facility, but today I'm still useful, still connected, still myself, and that's enough. If you're listening to this, whether you're 30, 50, or 80, don't just think about safety. Think about meaning. Because a life that's completely safe but empty doesn't feel like living. And sometimes the best solution isn't the one everyone talks about. Sometimes it's the one you build quietly with the people right in front of you. I'll be here, still figuring it out, still finding my way. And if you want to sit with me again, you're always welcome.